Hey guys, as you guys can tell by the title, it's going to be another sonography update. I know, I said I was going to do this like a totally long time ago, but I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. The last time that I was going to do it was probably about 3 weeks before I got out of my second semester, so I thought, why would I do it now? I would just totally wait until I finish the semester, hopefully. Anyways, yeah, so I went through all of my previous updates so that I can make sure that I give you guys as much information as possible in this update. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so like I said, I had already went through all of my previous videos and updates because I just wanted to make sure that I was actually giving out all the information that I was wanting to give out. So I did go through it, and I want to go ahead and just do a recap of all the stuff that I went through previously, and I'm going to go ahead and leave those links down below so you guys can definitely check those videos out. Some of them just like some of them are in like a normal video, and I'll just have an update in there. So I mean, sometimes the video won't even be a total sonography update, but I'll go ahead and leave those links below. It's up to you guys if you guys want to see them or not, but if you do, the links are down below and you guys can definitely go ahead and check those out. So my very first video was called Sonography Program, and that was pretty much just the application process and just how to get in, all the stuff that you have to do. It tells you about like all the stuff that you have to turn in with your application, all the prerequisites that you need to take. It tells you about I have all my notes right here, that's why I keep looking down. It tells you about the observation that you have to do before, and then you know, application deadline and stuff like that, and pretty much just telling you how to be on time and all that stuff about your application. So that's pretty much the recap for Sonography Program. If you guys want to get in more depth, you guys can definitely check that video out. Yeah, and then there's Sonography Update video, and that's pretty much about the interview process. And my experience, and it even has some of the interview questions that I was asked, so you guys can definitely check that out, because in case you guys want to already know how you would answer, I think I gave about 3 questions that they asked me. So you guys, if you guys want to try and already figure out what you would answer during some of the interview questions, I would definitely check those questions out so that you guys can go ahead and prepare yourselves. And that's in Sonography Update. The next video is on Sonography Orientation. So as you can see, they are pretty much going by exactly what you're going to be going through. Of course, you're going to go through the application process, then you're going to be going through the interview process. So then the next one is your Sonography Orientation, which you go in like way months before you actually even get into, well, you're already in the program, but once you get into the program, you go through orientation, and orientation is like months before the program even starts, because it tells you all the stuff that you need to do to prepare for the program. So to prepare for the program, they're telling you to get your background checks done, and they tell you how to do it. They give you all the information that you need to do, how to order your uniforms. Some places I know that they do order uniforms on the first day or the first weeks of school. Well, here, at least at my school, they do it like a few months before, and you pretty much have to go and pay for it out of pocket. And you know, so hopefully you guys start saving a little bit just in case there's any extra stuff that you guys need to get before you even go in. And I'm not talking about regular school supplies, because of course you're going to go and buy those on your own, but I'm talking about uniforms, USBs, stuff like that, you know, like shoes, stuff that you may need to get before program even starts, and you might have to pay out of pocket. So definitely have a little savings for that. Then the next, and then of course in orientation it also talks about your book order. We had to order our books before school even started, and what was a problem with our school that probably might not be a problem with yours was that we actually had we were like a 2-school campus that kind of split off, so we did not have a bookstore, which is so weird, right? We are a school without a bookstore. So So we, you know, most schools, if once you have your financial aid or anything into a school account, you can go to the bookstore and buy your books already. Well, we didn't have a bookstore, so again, you have to pay your books out of pocket. And of course, I mean, if you have to reimburse anything and you do get financial aid, you can definitely go ahead and get that with you know, once you get your financial aid, like whenever they give it to you. Sometimes people, I think schools get it like the first week or the first days of school. I know other schools wait about 2 weeks before they give you the financial aid refunds. But anyways, so yeah, we had to do all of that out of pocket because you had to have it for the first day of school. The next video was Sonography Update and Autumn Project. And I'll go ahead and leave it below. I looked at it, it wasn't a lot of information, so I'll link it below, but it wasn't really a lot of information that I said on that. It was really just a normal video that I had said a few things in there. And then the next one was School Freakout. And that pretty much was talking about the first week of school and how it was completely different from any other type of classes that I've taken. And of course, hello, it was fall, so I had just gotten out of summer break of summer doing absolutely nothing to going to full-on crazy study school mode and stuff like that. So and how you definitely need to prioritize when you're in a very, very hard program. You need to prioritize. So that's what that video is about. And that is pretty much a wrap up of all those videos. Again, if you guys want more detail on that, you guys can check out all those links below. And that's all I'm going to say for those previous videos. Now, I'm still going to be talking about the first semester and the second semester. I'll go ahead and tell you guys that they were really, really difficult. And I know that in some of the videos it even says, you know, how like, I think it's on first week's freakout where it said that I got a really low grade. And you really have to know and get your brain ready to prioritize like in an instant, because I definitely didn't do that the first week and it showed. So my first classes that I took were abdominal pelvic pathology, OB, GYN, and superficial structures. So you're going to be learning about everything. And I mean, I know that they can have the degree plans in different ways at different schools, but that's how it is for our school. So you're going to be learning about everything, every single thing that you're going to be scanning. You'll be learning that in the first semester. So it is pretty tough. I'm trying to think of projects that we did in the first semester, and I'm going to say the main one that stands out is definitely a 15-minute speech project. And what that was, we actually got to do it with partners, so that was cool. But they pretty much, the teacher gave us a subject and, you know, an organ, let's say an organ, and you had to have 15 minutes to present on that organ. So that was actually really cool and really in preparation for what came in your second semester. But anyways, I'll talk about that right now. In the first semester, when you're taking all of those classes, pretty much they're just gearing you towards second semester, which is the worst. And so you learn all of your normal anatomy and the anatomy that you're going to be learning. And I suggest everybody really get to know your anatomy before you get into the sonography program, because it's going to be really sad if they tell you to scan something and you don't even know where it's at. So definitely know where your pancreas is, where your aorta is, where your liver is, where your gallbladder is, kidneys, and your spleen. That's what you would be scanning for your abdominal pelvic class. Then for your superficial class, you're going to be scanning your thyroid, you're going to be scanning breast, you're going to be scanning prostate and scrotum. So definitely know your anatomy, know your functions, and you know what these organs do. It's really beneficial to you, and you won't be, you know, like you don't want to have to go into the class and not only learn the normal you know, anatomy and function of these organs, but it'll just make it a lot easier on you if you just kind of study beforehand. But I mean, maybe you guys already know. You know, I'm just saying that that would just definitely be a good idea, is to know. And of course, prerequisites are A&P, so you should know where they are. But just in case, you know, or maybe you need a refresher, maybe you took those classes a long time ago, definitely check out where your organs are. So that would be a good idea. For OB, I would say that that's probably a little bit harder to prepare for. But you are going to have, in the first trimester, know all the normalness of GYN, which is your uterus, and uterine area. And you're going to also learn some pathologies, basic, probably the most common pathologies that can happen with just a non-pregnant uterus. So you're going to have to know that, and then you're going to have to know, of course, OB, how the babies develop and how they're coming about within their first trimester, second trimester, and third trimester of pregnancy. Well, for, you know, the mom's first, second, and third trimester of pregnancy. And, you know, when things should look, how they should look, and, you know, what's normal, what's not normal. Maybe it's normal at a certain time and then it's not normal later on. So you're going to learn all of this stuff in the first semester. It's a lot of information. So for every single organ, and then for a baby, you're learning every single organ, but in the baby. So, I mean, of course, it's the same organs, but it's going to look a lot different when you're looking at it from a mom's belly compared to just, you know, in regular abdominal pelvic when you're just scanning somebody and they can stay still, but a baby can't stay still. When they're in the mom, they're moving a lot. So those are a lot of things that you're going to be going over. And then, well, our program is very strict. We had quizzes like 2-3 times a week. It wasn't like, okay, prepare for that Friday quiz. No, it was more like every single class meeting, prepare for a quiz. And, you know, they're so strict that they even, you just need to be prepared at all times. Be prepared. I cannot stress this enough. I wish there was a way to stress it more than I'm saying it right now. Be prepared. Okay, and let's see. The final for the first semester was so hard because they're gearing you towards second semester. So even though you should know, you know, you try and focus on what you learned, but the final actually focused on a little bit of the stuff that you probably didn't pay attention to that you should have because the information was given to you. But it was gearing you towards second semester, which is all pathology. So pretty much those were a lot of pathology questions. And, you know, the first semester is all about normal. So that was really challenging. Thank goodness we all passed. And that is amazing. That was pretty much the same thing for finals for abdominal pelvic and for OB, but abdominal pelvic you have your lab, and your lab you have a final, and that's an actual scan. Like by that time in the first semester you're already scanning. You guys are scanning each other. We have 24/7 access to the labs, so I mean, anytime that you can get on a machine, get on it. And you can definitely go and just continue to scan and practice because you want to have the feeling for how to get that organ, how to make it look its best. So our last test for abdominal pelvic lab was to do a complete abdomen. So all those organs that I named earlier, all those organs, that is what you need to scan in 50 minutes. 50. 50 minutes. Now let me tell you, the first, I'm going to say actually maybe the second week of school, you had to do just the aorta, one organ in 50 minutes. And now you are doing all the organs in 50 minutes. So that was definitely a challenge. A lot of people, you know, barely made it. They finally pressed that last, saving an image of that last image before she says time's up, stop scanning and turn it in. So that is definitely a challenge, and that's because on your first semester you are finishing a complete abdomen in 50 minutes, but when you go out to the hospital you can see that sonographers can do a complete abdomen in less than 10 minutes. Yes, less than 10 minutes. So right now, thank goodness, you can find all the organs, you can get it all, and now time. Get those good images and decrease your time. So that's something that everybody's working on. And for OB, the same thing. Ever since, I believe, the 3rd week of school, you've been scanning pregnant patients. And in the beginning, he's telling you, right now, whatever you're learning in class is what you're going to be scanning. So even though you can be scanning the whole pregnant person's, you know, the whole baby, the first thing that we're going to scan is a 1st trimester pregnancy. You could probably just see the little bit of baby, and you're going to measure it in a crown to rump length, which is from the head all the way down to the butt, and you know, get those images for the mom. And so that's your focus. And then the next time, and it's just the same with abdomen, is that you're going organ by organ. The same thing with OB. You're going organ by organ. You know, it's like, okay, now I want you guys to get the, if it's a 1st trimester, do the whole 1st trimester, get the heartbeat. If you're on a 2nd trimester, which would be a complete abdomen, start with the head. You know, I want to see that you can see the whole spine. I want you to find their femur length. I want you to know how to measure all the brain structures in the head. And, you know, so it is definitely a challenge, definitely stuff that you're still going to be working on in your 2nd semester, and you're going to be doing the same type of work. So yes, definitely read up on OB if you guys can. It might be a little bit harder just because you might not know where to start, but if even the simplest stuff, maybe just words, maybe just a few phrases, just so you guys can kind of get with the lingo of your OB, abdominal, pelvic, and superficial, you know, knowledge and terminology and stuff like that. So that would definitely be good for you guys. Then 2nd semester, and I think that I probably haven't talked about 2nd semester at all. My last video was called Past Finals, and that was for my 1st semester, and now I have already passed my 2nd semester finals. Yay me, pat on the back. Let me go ahead and talk to you guys about that a little bit. 2nd semester was pretty tough. It's kind of like I'd say it's half and half on toughness. It was definitely hard, but what made it easier was knowing that you knew all the normal, you know? So 1st semester totally helps you out, that you know all the normal functions and sizes and normal, even like the most common pathologies, so that when you go in, at least you know some stuff of the pathology. So it was really good that you know the normal, you already know the functions, you already know all that stuff, and you just go in there and learn all the different types of things that can go wrong with each of these organs. So definitely things that can go wrong with all of those abdominal organs, and the same with OB. Stuff that can go wrong with a non-pregnant uterus, and things that can go wrong with a baby. So you do learn all of that, all the while still scanning in class abdomens, and still scanning pregnant patients in class and for lab. So that's still fun. Those patients still get to come in. They do have a little bit of a longer visit than normal. When they get when they usually go to the doctor's office and get an ultrasound done, they probably are done in about 10 minutes. Here, they're with someone in there. They're probably laying down for about an hour. Yes, we know all the stuff that can go. Definitely pregnant patients, sometimes they do need to rest a little bit, and they'll kind of sit up, maybe take drink some water whenever they are getting scanned. Or we definitely don't push them. If they don't want to be scanned anymore, we will let them go, and we'll find other patients. But yeah, that is definitely one of the things that we still do. So it's, you know, you're still practicing. However, along with those pathology classes during the 2nd semester, you are also taking intermediate physics. And let me tell you, I am not a math person. No. And even though a lot of it, it's really just, hey, it's just like any other class, learn the material and you are good to go. We had tutors. Some people that were really good in our class with physics would go ahead and be tutors. So that was really helpful, and whenever you had a question, they were there. I'm more of a, let me read it by myself. I don't want any distractions. And so that was the only study group that I probably never really went to. I did go to a few just to see if any stuff like popped out, you know, which it did. But for the most part, I don't do well with that kind of class in a big group. I could do it with abdomen, I could do it with OB, but not physics. So physics, I would just come to my room and study by myself. So that was actually, I really was happy with my grades in physics. I was able to do that really well. So, and then along with those 3 challenging classes, we also started clinicals. So 3 times a week we were out in the hospital doing clinicals.